Smarter Consulting, we believe in making technology available to everyone. And that's why you can count on us for your technology solutions and your team's training needs. From SharePoint to OneNote, Teams, or any of the Microsoft 365 applications. Or maybe you need a technology assessment before committing your budget. In fact, our application audit saved one customer more than $1 million in software expenses. Smarter Consulting is here to help you. We collaborate with the industry's best providers to bring our clients customized solutions that address their unique challenges. We are proud to be a woman-owned small business IT consultancy. And while we're based in Kansas City, also known as the heart of the Silicon Prairie, we've helped clients all over the country. Let's chat about how we can help you. Send us a note at info@smarter-consulting.com.
Hi, welcome to our talk, Inspiring Tech Girls. My name's David Patrick, and I'm a subject matter expert at DSA Incorporated. With me today, I have my daughter, Sarah Patrick, who's a student ambassador at the University of Maryland College Park, and a special guest, Chloe Thompson, our new TechGirlz volunteer. She goes to school at Virginia Tech. So what we want you to learn from this talk, we've got a couple of key takeaways. We're going to talk about how we do Tech Girl workshops, and in teaching young women how to do tech, how we teach not only to share, but we learn ourselves. So that's one of the takeaways that we want you to get from our talk today. The fact that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? We're doing these talks, and we're constantly doing more, we're constantly growing more, and we get a lot of benefit from the young ladies that give us feedback later and say, wow, I really got interested, I was really inspired. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And that's the last one, share to be inspired, and be inspired ourselves. It's often funny that we did this thinking we were helping the girls, but a lot of times the girls help us. So what am I talking about? What is TechGirlz? Sarah, tell us all about TechGirlz.
All right. Hi, everyone. This is Sarah. Like my dad said, I'm a junior at the University of Maryland College Park, and I'm studying information science. So we first heard about TechGirlz. They're a nonprofit organization all about inspiring girls to get pursuing tech. And they first got started realizing that girls honestly are getting discouraged to pursue STEM at that middle school age. There are studies showing that that's the crucial age that's when they first get the spark, but then afterwards that's when they're discouraged from it as well. And this is due to a multitude of factors such as lack of mentors, lack of real-life examples, and other things along those lines. So TechGirlz has these hands-on technical workshops to help girls see these real-life examples of tech, and hopefully, if they do enjoy it, have that encouragement to keep pursuing it. So TechGirlz provides many workshops. They call these Tech Shops in a Box, where they provide the curriculum, a slide deck, everything of how to run a hands-on technical workshop for these girls. And TechGirlz really makes it easy for anyone to get started with any of these workshops. So you can see here some of the examples they have of some of the workshops they provide. And you can see by the star indicated the level of difficulty of the workshop. So these one-starred ones are beginners. So this is great for a new group of girls. Maybe this is their first TechGirlz workshop. Maybe they haven't really been exposed to tech before. These ones are perfect for them. It goes to 2 and 3 stars to increase in difficulty of the advancements of the workshop. Some listed here that we have done and we'll talk about later in this talk is newsroom story production and programming with Kodu. And they are all really awesome workshops. I've personally loved doing them.
And we shouldn't understate the importance of this curriculum that TechGirlz provides. A lot of times people, at being a trainer, will come up to me and say, Dave, can you teach a class on JavaScript? And I'll say, sure, where's the textbook or where's the curriculum? And they'll say, no, just wing it. No, you can't just wing these things. TechGirlz provides a course curriculum for all these different workshops, the workshop plans, the slides, tips and tricks, and it really is valuable. It really helps someone who wants to do one of these workshops, get started that much faster because they've laid everything out. Really, all we had to do to get started with this was find some volunteers, find a place to do it, and sometimes we had to find some equipment. And we actually did learn a lot too, because when you pick one of these workshops, sometimes you're learning software you never had to play with before. I've picked up on several pieces of software I never would have seen before. So it's really educational, not only for the audience, but for the teachers. So let's talk about our team. We started the Tech Girl Workshops 4 years ago with a group of companies in the Northeast Maryland corridor. DSA is the company I work for, and you can see some of my DSA folks there. There's me, the one of the few gentlemen in the group. Then Kathleen Kirk up there. She's our vice president. My daughter Sarah's right above Kathleen. We've got Tracy Shriners. She's been there since the beginning. And these are some of the girls that actually took the first workshop. Since then, we've had lots of other people come and join and volunteer. And it's been really successful. Really, a lot of girls have gone through and got a lot of positive feedback. We keep getting new volunteers all the time. And in fact, Chloe Thompson is one of our fresh new Tech Girl volunteers, and she joins us today to talk a little bit about her experience so far. Chloe, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, like you said, my name is Chloe. I'm a senior at Virginia Tech, and my major is Business Information Technology.
Wow, that sounds pretty good. So being a tech person, what were your expectations when you first heard about TechGirlz?
First of all, I expected to work with DSA because I know Kathleen Kirk and I know you, and with a group of volunteers. I was excited to have the opportunity to help young girls learn more about tech careers and help build their confidence. I know when I first started my major, I wasn't confident in tech, but it grew with time.
That's a great point. One of the things that we see a lot when we do these workshops, and you'll see we got a couple of pictures of the one where we took apart computers, is that there's a hesitation, you know, a lack of confidence, and these workshops I think help build that. So,
absolutely. I just wanted to add that these girls having all these female role models in the room to teach these workshops and have is extremely helpful. I've had times where the girls will call me over just to show off what they have, and they just want to share it with me. I think it's so awesome that they're so proud of what they worked on.
And they see you as, hey, this is someone I want to share it with.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty good. So, Chloe, you've been looking over some of the workshops. We're focusing on the WordPress workshop coming up. So you've been going through the slides, looking at the workshop plans. Any thoughts so far? How's it been going?
Yeah, I enjoyed looking through the upcoming topics. The WordPress one looks really interesting. I can't wait to start on that. Even though I'm a tech major, I've never made a website before, so I'm excited to learn more about how to do that. And I'm also looking forward to talking with the girls and volunteers.
That's cool. That's great. I love the fact that, and don't worry that you're a tech major and you haven't seen this tech, because I've been doing this for 30 years, and we'll pull up on these workshops and I'll say, Kodu? What's Kodu? Or
right.
Marvel app? What was that? I'm still learning. Every day is a learning day, so that's exciting. So let's talk about our first TechGirlz workshop. That was 4 years ago, over 4 years ago,
yes.
Sarah. That was your first TechGirl workshop. Mine too. And we, of course, made you do it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was a sophomore in high school when my dad came up to me and said, hey, we want you to run this workshop, this completely new idea that my company has. We want you to run it. And me being very shy, I still wasn't really sure what I wanted to pursue yet. I knew that I liked math and science, but that's about it. So when my dad told me this, I was like, I'm not sure about that one. I'll pass. He said, nah, I already signed you up. So you're doing it. So I was really worried, but I was excited. I knew that the audience would be a younger audience, obviously. It's these middle school age girls. I was like, oh, this will be cool. It'd be a good, first experience of presenting to a new group of people. So our first workshop was creating a website using WordPress.
Same one we're doing in a week.
So yeah, I'm pretty seasoned on it now. It's been 4 years. But at the time, it was very new to me. I think when I first pulled it up, I had seen it once before. I played it with it when I was actually at middle school age, but hadn't looked at it since. So I had to learn everything again and go through the slide deck that TechGirlz gave me, which was very helpful, but I was very nervous that this was my first time presenting it. And I was also really worried that the girls wouldn't enjoy it. I wasn't sure if this was a topic they were interested in, or the other fact that we were going to this group of girls at an after-school program, and I was worried it was going to be like homework, that they were going to feel like they were sitting in another class, and they don't want to, exactly, they don't want to do that after school. They just want to play and have fun. So I was worried they were going to be bored out of their minds.
Well, it's funny you said, because we are at the Harford County Boys and Girls Club, and as we're going in, guess what they're doing? playing and having fun, right? They're basketballing, they're soccer, and we're like, come on into the classroom.
Right, and so I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. So I start going presenting, and as we start to let them loose of what I started so far, they are off the hook, going on. They want to go ahead. They're like, how do I do this? I was like, wait, I haven't gotten there yet. They were just so excited, so much enthusiasm. And I was so shocked about how many of them wanted to present at the end, too. They were all just so proud and so excited what they worked on. And I think the thing that shocked me the most was I made a example website, and I made mine about cats because I like cats. And I think that's something that middle school girls, like, that's something we probably both relate to, right? So as I'm showing off mine, it looks like they like it. You know, it's cute. They start presenting theirs, and theirs is about their passion for music, social injustice, all these like deep things that they're passionate about.
Yes.
I was shocked by.
We had the one little girl. She wanted to make money. She said,
Yes.
"Mr. Patrick, how do I
sell this?
Right, I want to copyright this. I want to make money. I want to monetize it." I said, "I don't know what that word means."
They are so smart. They are so into it. I was so shocked. It's just so rewarding to see how much they loved it, and that's why we still have been doing it, going on 4 years. We love it. They love it. It's a win-win situation.
They never cease to amaze me. They never cease to surprise me. This one was particularly, being our first, it was particularly amazing. It really opened our eyes. But then we had others. So then we had this one. This was a really good one, the What's in the Computer, where we literally we did this a couple times. Each of these workshops we did like 4 times in a row.
Yes.
The What's in a Workshop one.
Computer.
Thank you. What's in a computer? We would open the computers, and we made the mistake the first time to use computers that we thought we would put back together and use the next day. So we quickly realized that if we're going to let them, if we're going to rip them apart, don't expect to be back together anytime soon. So we switched to older computers. But the problem, or the benefit of older computers, is that they really went to town. Because then they had earlier the first time it was like whoa, easy. Then we're like, we're not putting these back together.
Yeah, so a big part of this workshop was asking the girls, what is this part? Can you find it in the computer? And these girls, they're so smart, but also so competitive that they were in teams and they're like, we're going to find it first.
Yes.
We got it. And then they want to rip the whole thing apart.
Yes.
We had to force them to put the lids back on to take a break.
It was lead time.
Wait for the other teams to find it first. But we just love that they were so into it. They got to learn about the safety of working with computers, the hardware, and things like that. They got to look at all of the parts because there's no boundaries. They were like, can we screw this off? And since they're old computers, we were like, sure, why not?
Pulled out the fan, pulled out the CPU, pulled out the RAM. I mean, they were pulling stuff out, and they were like, what's this? I'm like, I don't know. We never pulled that out before. Let's look it up. So yeah, that was a really good one. What other ones did we have? We had, so we did start thinking, we're a Microsoft Gold partner. We need to start focusing on our own expertise. We're very good with Microsoft. So let's see how we can incorporate Microsoft into some of these workshops. When you download the workshops from TechGirlz, they make recommendations on what kind of software you might want to use, but you're not bound to that software. So we started tweaking them. We said, all right, we're going to do game. Well, this one actually was straight up Microsoft. Right? I didn't know that. I'm like, dude, what kind of crazy program is that? They're like, it's Microsoft. I'm like, what? But this was a real fun one. Sarah, can you tell us about this one?
So this one was called Game Design with Kodu. And like my dad said, it's from Microsoft and it's free. So that's the best part. We didn't have to pay anything to
get this. Because when you're talking Microsoft, it's not always free, but this one was free.
And the girls got to create their own game using Kodu. So it's a UI-driven program. It's super easy to learn. And the best part, like I said, that it's a game. It's girls want to do that. Like, who doesn't want to make their own video game? So you might be thinking, Kodu, what is that?
That's what I was thinking. What the heck is Kodu?
Me too. So Kodu is the actual mascot for it.
Oh, right. There's a little guy up in the corner there.
Right. But the overall program is a great way to get started with programming. So as you can see in this image here, it's block programming. So you can see with each block, each step is given. And this is a really great way to get girls started learning coding because the first thing I learned is that computers actually aren't that smart. You have to tell the computer every step by step to get the outcome that you want.
Exactly what they want, right?
Exactly. So these codings is exactly showing what each step is to do. And to get these girls started to show each step, we actually did an example of using me and my dad. My dad was the pretend robot.
Yes.
And the girls had to tell him each step to get from one corner of the room to the other. So before the girls figured it out, they told him, "Oh, step forward."
Right.
And he just kept stepping forward,
Right
ran
into
into the wall. And that taught the girls that they had to tell him, "Oh, take 4 steps forward,
Yes.
turn 90 degrees."
Yes.
Things like that. So same idea. These block images for coding helps the girls realize that you really have to be specific in each step that you want your little icon to do to get the outcome that you want. And Kodu is a great way to build a really fun game out of that. I believe the game we built was collecting coins, and then you win.
And they had to put trees, and they had to build territory, but they had to figure out how to, when they collect 7 coins, then win.
Yeah.
So there was logic that they had to apply, and
Yes.
figure out how to have a variable that kept track of how many coins and things like that.
Yep.
It was pretty cool.
Yes,
Pretty good
and-
introduction.
Yes, and TechGirlz has that all set up for you,
Yes.
so you can learn it first before you have to teach it.
Right.
But I am 20 years old, and I thought it was so fun. I made my whole other game where I made a bad guy. Like, girls can go loose with this. It was
I'm 50
so
and I'm
fun.
still playing with it.
Right, exactly. One other great feature of Kodu that I really liked is that they provide these worlds. So maybe the girls already want something big set up. They can go into that.
These are pre-built.
Yes, preloaded. Some of them are tutorials, so it tells them what to do to going throughout the world. Maybe it's another game, things like that. So endless worlds already uploaded on it.
So you didn't have
for
to
the girls
start from
explore.
scratch, because we did start from scratch.
Yes.
We started from nothing, but yeah, this is cool.
Yes, I think we introduced them to both, but we focused more on building it from scratch. But this is there as well.
So we also had some other workshops. We talked about, Sarah mentioned earlier, the newsroom story production. And I'll be honest, the first time I looked at this workshop, I'm like, where's the code? Where's the computer? I'm not really sure how this one is techie related. But what we found out was that it is reporting and using tools to do reporting. And we converted this, or we tweaked this a little bit so that they used Office 365. So now they were learning Word and PowerPoint. And not only was it easy to learn, but they got real world skills. I told the girls after the workshop, put all this on the put it on your resume, right? Because why not? I can't remember who came up with this idea. It might have been Miss Tracy, but they said, hey, let's get the girls to interview each other.
Oh, they loved that, because at these after-school programs, they're all hanging out with their friends. And what do they like to do best? Talk about each other, talk about themselves. So by then,
They got excited about that.
They got to interview each other and talk about themselves and things they liked, make it all about them. So they really enjoyed that.
It was really surprising how fast they picked up using Office 365. I
Yes.
thought we were concerned because this was not something out of the box with TechGirlz, so no other TechGirlz workshop that we knew of was using Office 365, so we were the first with that. But again, it worked really, really nicely. Now, you might be wondering, how do I get Office 365? I don't want to have to pay that money, because we are cheapskates. We want to do it as budget-friendly, as I like to call it. There's a couple of different ways for those of you out there that want to get started with Office 365 for free. There's education editions. So if you're a college student, or you're faculty, or you're somehow involved with, you got a .edu email, then you probably already have Office 365. It's made available to all those, K through 12. I teach at a few different colleges, and they all have it. So it's all free for anyone in any kind of academic setting. You can also get just the trial. I forget how long it lasts for, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But if you're just doing a workshop, a trial will probably be enough for that. Nonprofits, so we've been involved with a couple different nonprofits, and they are able, PMI, the Project Management Institute, they're able to get Office 365 for free as a nonprofit. And then my favorite, this last link down here, is through the Dev program. So if you consider yourself an Office developer, which, by the way, doesn't mean that you have to write code. It means you develop solutions however you did it. It could be no-code, low-code solutions. You can sign up for the developer program. Doesn't cost anything. Doesn't even require a credit card. I think the trial up here, they make you hold a credit card, which they never charge. So I've done that. But still, it's always weird when I got to give them a credit card, But the developer program doesn't even require a credit card. I click on that. In fact, let's see if we can just show you guys what that looks like. So if you click on that link, it comes up and says, hey, you want to be a developer? Sign up. You join now, and you fill out a few things. I don't think they even ask me for anything like my social or anything. I'm already in it. So if I sign up with one of my current ones, you'll see one of the programs. I'll sign up with our TechGirlz one. and it gives you access to your own Office 365 tenant. You get 5 licensed users. You get SharePoint. You get, can't sign in with that account. I guess I signed in. I was previously signed in with another account. But you get, SharePoint. You get, I'll go to office.com and show you some of the apps that comes with the developer program. Outlook, which is Exchange, which is email, OneDrive, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So the whole suite of Office online applications you get as part of that Office program. So it's a really great deal because it's free. Now, some other past workshops that we've done, that we've tweaked to use Microsoft technology. One of my favorite tools from Microsoft, Visual Studio Code. For those of you who don't know, Visual Studio Code is that lightweight version of Visual Studio. It's great for you for editing HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We use it to do Python and things like that. It's got IntelliSense, it's got color coding. It's free. And again, when we decided to tweak the workshop, which workshop did we do for this one, Sarah, to make them do the Visual Studio Code?
So we were teaching HTML and CSS to create a website that way. Yes. So this was a bit of a step up from WordPress, more technical, more getting into the coding and syntax.
Yes, right. And then I think if you look at the workshop from TechGirlz, it says to use like Sublime or some other, Notepad++. There was a couple other editors, but we said no. We're going to switch it, and make another one where we kind of tweaked it and used Visual Studio Code. It worked great. The girls really did. In fact, it worked so good when TechGirlz said, "Hey, we're going to do that. We're going to set a new world record." What was that, a year ago?
Yes.
They said we want to set a world record for the most girls coding at once, and we're going to call it #Codebreakers. And we said, great, we're going to participate, but we're going to use Visual Studio Code. We had like 22 girls, 2 different workshops, 22 girls, had a blast, all picked it up, all had great websites to share.
Yes.
I think, do we have a video of that?
We do.
We do. Check out this video talking all about code breakers and the records that we set. And I think you make an appearance in here. You have to look. You have to
maybe briefly.
Yeah, don't blink.
Codebreakers is TechGirl's first attempt to set a record for the number of girls learning to code at the same time. We're going to be using one of our Tech Shops in a Box, which will teach them HTML and CSS. They're going to be creating a web page. Centered in Philadelphia, which is our headquarters, and across the country in almost 20 locations, from Denver to Raleigh to Tennessee to Maryland. All these girls will be communicating and seeing each other as we're all learning the lesson together. Why are we doing this? Because we want to dispel the myth that girls don't like technology and that girls aren't good at technology, because we know that girls like it and they're good at it. Thank you to all of our volunteers and the TechGirlz staff who have helped put this event together so that we can set this record. And now that the record is set, we're looking to you to help us break it. Do you want to be part of that record-setting team? Let us know. Contact us today.
Wow, that was pretty cool.
It was super awesome. We had a fun-filled day of coding, hanging out with all these young, fresh girls, fresh faces to coding.
That got me very excited. The success of Visual Studio Code with that workshop, the success of Microsoft Office 365 with the newsroom workshop, we said, you know what? Let's take it a step further. Let's start creating our own workshops that we will submit back to TechGirlz based around different Microsoft technologies that we're really good at, or that we want to get good at. So 2 that are near and dear to our heart. Sarah, you do a talk on Power Apps.
Yes.
Microsoft Teams, we've been doing a lot with Microsoft Teams. So we thought, let's create a couple workshops with each of these technologies. So the first one I'll talk about is Power Apps. This one's still in development. And this is based on a video, a 10-minute video out there by Rory Neary. And he developed a game with Power Apps, they call that gamification, where you can build, it's tic-tac-toe, but using Power Apps. And the idea, just like with Kodu, is that you're having fun, you're building the game, but you're also using a real-world business tool and developing those real-world skills. So we got most of the way down the road on that one. We haven't quite run a workshop with that, but we're working out the last few kinks. I think this whole COVID-19 threw us for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah.
But that one's still in the, it's still working. We're almost done, and we have to just adjust it so that we're able to run it virtually. The lucky thing about Power Apps, it's cloud-based, so it lends itself. Any app. We just did our first TechGirlz workshop virtually last month, and we have to. The trick with that is we're trying to limit what they have to download and install, right? Because we're not there. We can't really reach out and help them. So I think this one will be a really good one to do virtually once we get it ready to go. And then again, just like with Office 365 had all those trials, there's a Power Apps community plan that you can sign up for, so you can use it for free. Start it, and there's no cost. So that's really exciting. And again, these links are in our slides. They'll be up there later. If you guys want to click on the download the slides, you'll be able to grab these links. Now, the other one that we developed and delivered was called TechGirlz Collaborating with Teams. Sarah, tell us all about that.
Yes, so Microsoft Teams is hot and what's going on right now, especially we developed this before the whole COVID-19 thing happened, and it kind of came to use now, but at the time, we knew that Teams was great for collaboration for companies, but we really wanted these girls to learn about collaboration and learn how to do it without being in the same room as each other, which is an interesting challenge because when we go to these Boys and Girls Club, they love to chit-chat with each other and work together very hands-on closely, but we wanted to challenge them and figure out how to complete a project, but through a computer, having to do that collaboration doing that way. So we use Teams to teach this type of collaboration. So Microsoft Teams provides actually their own demos, which is really awesome. So we're going to quickly go through that today. I want to make a quick note that this demo that I've done before, really only just a couple months ago, and I looked at it the other day, and it's updated, so it's already new.
Completely brand new look and feel. But that's the danger and the benefit of that it's cloud-based, that they're constantly improving it, constantly making changes. But heaven forbid that before we do any of these, we have to go look at it ahead of time and kind of adapt to any updates that they've made.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say for anyone watching, if you've done the demo in the past, maybe you should do it again because now it's new and there's a bunch of new things that I learned that it didn't have before in their demo. So let's get started with this first one. So it takes me and shows me to this navigation on the side here where I can see all the tabs to navigate throughout Microsoft Teams. We have the Activity tab, Chat, Teams, Calendar, Calls, and Files, and we'll get into more of each one as we go through this demo. Down at the bottom here is where we can join or create a team. It kind of describes what a team is here and how it's so easy to create or join one. So if we click on that icon at the bottom there, we can see create team here. So that's where you want to create your own team in Microsoft Teams.
Now, Sarah, is this Teams or is this a simulation?
So
you're not really running Teams.
No, so that's the great thing about this demo.
Wow.
It's taking me through Teams as a simulation without me actually having to mess up my actual Microsoft Teams.
So you could use this demo, because we've had this problem before where we tried to demo Teams in a Teams meeting. And that gets very meta,
yes,
right? Because you're trying to show off Teams, but you're running Teams, and you have to make sure that your Teams doesn't get involved with the demo Teams. But using something like this simulation, you don't have that problem.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is great to use in a call, especially because I feel like a lot of people who have briefly used Microsoft Teams, it's just because they're invited to a chat,
right,
and they just get on the call and that's all they know. But there's so much more to it, such as creating your own team for a certain project within your company or joining one that someone has the same vision.
That's another really good point. The first time we went through this, we learned about a couple features that we didn't know about in Teams.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even if you've done the demo in the past, or if you haven't at all, you definitely should go through this demo. It teaches you a lot of little things that I didn't know before, so you'll probably learn something new too. So next you can see that you can create a privacy setting for your teams. This one's private, or you can make it public. So it just depends how you want your members to join the team. So if we go here to the little ellipse, we can access the team settings. And here you can see manage team and some other options to make your team more complex. This is where you can see all of your members and access advanced settings if needed. With every team made, you get channels. So this is how you organize the different topics you're discussing within your team. And it has the default of general, but then you can create others for the topics you choose. So here we're going to look at the marketing channel. And this is where you can see some more tabs to organize the information within this channel. So for this one, we're looking at the conversation. This is where you chat between the team members in this Microsoft team. You can see here, you can also change the privacy of your channel. And then the conversation here is within the channel. That's the default one that's typically brought up. You can see that Microsoft Teams does threaded conversations. This is great for organizing of what's being talked about instead of messages being jumbled up and confused with what's being discussed.
And a quick tip here is, as a heavy Teams user, what I've been noticing, and other of my peers have been mentioning too, is that people don't know how to use this feature properly. Someone will post a message, and then they'll post a reply instead of replying to the message. So instead of having a nice threaded discussion, you've got post over post, and it's hard to follow. So this is a feature that people need to understand and people need to use properly. Otherwise, it's a mess. And one person suggested that one way he's trying to get people to do replies versus new posts is if someone does a new post, he copies that and puts it back up in a reply to say, "Is this what you meant?" to try to say, "Listen, you don't do a new post, do a reply."
Right, I think people are not used to this feature, which is really helpful. People just need to know how to utilize it. So as you can see on the screen, there's the little reply with the arrow, and that is to encourage that threaded conversation.
It needs to be bigger, it needs to glow.
Yes.
Maybe, are you sure you meant the post? Because it looks like you're trying to reply.
Right, so it has this functionality to encourage that behavior.
Yeah.
So hopefully you keep that in mind the next time you have a Teams conversation, so you know to reply to the post instead of creating a new post.
Yeah,
as
we
your
need
reply.
a fancy jingle like "reply, don't die" or something like that. I don't know.
I like that. So you can see here, if you expand it all, maybe there's a lot of replies, you can see them all here. So again, please do the reply.
I mean, unless you're starting a new, if it's
Right.
a new idea, it's a new question, fine. But if you're just responding to something, please reply.
Right. So under here, so if you're replying or maybe you're posting a new topic, you can do @mentions for a specific person so that it will notify them under the activity tab.
Yeah.
So they'll really see it.
This is another one. I'm seeing some abuse here. People are, because you can @mention a person. That's fine. I want to draw Sarah's attention, so I'll say @Sarah. Or you can @mention a team. So if it's my small team of TechGirlz trainers, 10 people, that sounds fine. You can also @mention like the whole company. You can mention, if you @mention the team that's 500 people, maybe you don't want to do that often. I see people who are @mentioning the whole company like all the time, and they get emails and it gets a little spammy. So, yes, @mention, but do it judiciously. You want to make sure you @mention, correctly. Just like we said with the replies. You want to make sure you @mention, one or two people, and try not to @mention the whole company a lot.
Right, because that's to really get someone's attention.
Yes.
Because all messages will be read eventually. It's meant to specifically
highlight, call attention. If you abuse it, then it's not going to mean anything.
Right. Yeah. Good point. So what's also really nice about this demo is that it'll simulate some of it for us, such as this text. It indicates a check mark to make sure we've completed the edited post. So send that out. And now it says here, Diego, our example here, will receive a notification because he's been @mentioned. So now we've had a response from Diego. We can see the red @ to indicate that that person has been @mentioned. So this is something that I learned new from this demo. If someone responds in a different language, we can translate it.
Whoa, hold on. What? What? So me and my Spanish buddy can talk because my Spanish is rusty.
Yes.
What?
You saw that, just a little ellipsis here, and then it said translate, and now it's in English.
Wow.
I know, that's
pretty
something
cool.
that I thought
Teams
was
is
super
all
cool.
right.
Yeah. So next we can share documents in the conversation, and this is uploaded already, so other people can access later.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. If I can share documents through Teams, I don't need SharePoint anymore.
Not so fast.
What?
People don't realize this, but Teams is really just a front end to SharePoint, because these documents are being uploaded to SharePoint.
What? I thought I could get rid of SharePoint and just use Teams.
No.
But Teams is just loading SharePoint. So
Yep.
it leverages the power that SharePoint has behind the scenes. Well, that's good for me because since I've been using SharePoint, I'm not quite out of job just yet.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes. But for people who are maybe they're not a fan of SharePoint, this is a great front end for them. But if they do go into SharePoint, they'll see that, for example, these channels on the sides, those will actually be folders
Wow.
in SharePoint.
I thought folders were bad. Not
if
really.
you abuse them.
If you abuse them, exactly.
Right. The moral of the story here, don't abuse your functionality.
And a side note, for any of you that create a private team, you'll notice that creates its own site collection. So behind the scenes, those get separated out for security purposes because they're private. They have to be in their own site collection with their own security.
All right.
Good tip.
Yeah, good to know. All right. So as we were talking about this navigation up here, we can see there's a Files tab, and that's where all those files will be stored. Really, it's SharePoint, while on Teams, this is where you can access them. So like I said, now we can see all of the files here that's been uploaded. You can either send it in the chat to maybe that's what you're currently discussing, or you can upload it here for maybe future reference. Next, we have the Chat tab on the side here. This is great for communicating one-on-one with people or having a smaller group conversation. Maybe it doesn't need to be within your whole team or your whole channel. Up here, you can do a new chat. And then here, this is where you're going to type in your recipients.
Now here's something about that particular chat is I've noticed that if I put like a friend that I want to talk to in the two, I find them much easier if I than trying to use the search bar up top. For some reason, the search bar, I guess it searches everything and won't necessarily find someone. I have to type their whole name before it will find someone. But the chat kind of remembers who I've been talking to. I type, Sarah, and finds you.
Good to know. Kind of like specializes the search.
Yes. Well, I guess it limits it just the people versus searching
the
everything.
whole search bar. Gotcha. So down here is where you do the message. So we're messaging Emily here. Oh, this is really great for making maybe your message needs to be more complex, more fancy. We can format our text here, do some bold, italicize, underline.
Now again, this is hot tip because the other day someone asked me to make a fancy text and I could not find that ribbon to save my life. It's down there. Where is it? That is not intuitive.
Icon.
Sorry, Microsoft. I could not find that. I binged all over the place. I may have even Googled.
Hey, at least they have this demo. You should have watched the demo.
I should have watched the demo.
Should have watched the demo.
Oh my gosh.
Well, now you know. And like the other chat, we do that little, it looks like a paper airplane to send. This is where we can look at those smaller group conversations. Those can be named so that people in your team know that what the discussion is about. And that is the first demo. That kind of gives you a good overview of how to navigate things. And this is what I saw from the original demo just a couple months ago. But now it has these other two demos as well. Shall we take a look at these?
I'll tell you what. Let's put a pin on them.
Okay.
We'll wrap up and talk about some of the other stuff we got going on with TechGirlz. If we have time at the end, we might come back to one of these demos. But we also probably should leave some time for Q&A.
Sounds good. But I want to encourage you. You should check these out anyway on your own time. I was checking them out, and they're really helpful. A lot of more little tidbits that I didn't know before.
Good tidbits. All right. So again, there's the website, teamsdemo.office.com. Great resource, not only for learning teams, but also for teaching teams. We use this extensively in our TechGirlz, what would they call it, Intro to Collaboration workshop. Now, what else do we got coming up? We do have creating a website with WordPress, And we'd like to bring Chloe back in to talk a little bit about that. Chloe, can you tell us a little bit about this workshop and what it's about?
Oh, sure. So for the next workshop in a couple of weeks, the presenter is going to go over how to use WordPress to create a website. And we're going to go over all the different terms you need to know and everything you need to create your own website.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. You've been looking it over. Is there anything in particular that stands out that you look forward to learning?
Mostly I can make my own website and choose my own name, and all the different features you can add, which is really cool.
Speaking of that, let's take a look here. So I see that it talks about posts and pages, and I guess the difference between those two, different kinds of media, menus, widgets, and themes. Have you looked at any of these so far, or any of these your favorite?
I'd have to say my favorite is a theme, because that makes your website that much more amazing to look at. If you don't have a theme, it's just kind of boring to go through and look at everything. And
Yeah.
the different widgets kind of add like a little flavor to your website.
That's super cool. I know it was a boring website.
So
right?
I was just gonna say that's what makes WordPress so cool, because it already has like the layout, the template for the girls to make the website with the themes and the widgets and things. And this is great, low code, no code. So
Yes, we love that term. No
right,
code, no
it,
code.
it makes it all pretty, but it's a finished website once they put all their content in.
Let's take a look at the agenda. So the agenda, wow, look at all this stuff. Chloe, can you walk us through the agenda? What are these girls going to be doing?
Okay, so first the presenter is going to introduce WordPress and tell them how they need to plan out their website before they start, like what they want to include in the website. The most important thing is a name. Like, you can't really change the name, so you have to pick a decent name for what kind of theme you're going for and what you want the website to show. The presenter is going to say how you can update your homepage text and image, add posts, add different things. You can also change the theme or change the look depending on what you added or updated to it. And you can add different widgets and finally publish your website and share it to others.
And that's their favorite part. They love to present the website. They want to call Sarah over, or Tracy, or Chloe. I'm sure they'll be calling you over. Even virtually, they'll be like, hello, can I share my website off because it's awesome?
Yes, and even girls, some of them get really concerned, and they're like, oh, I want to finish it before I publish it. And I tell them, oh, no worries, like you can still edit it, but it'll be published. They get so into it. It's really great.
It's one of our good ones. So we're looking forward to that. That's coming up to June 29th. For those of you who are watching and are interested on possibly attending, maybe you have a young lady that would like to attend, or if you want to volunteer, we'll put up links outside of this so that you guys can check out the information and sign up if possible. We also we're excited to do our first virtual summer camp. So that's coming up either, I think, the second week in August. We're planning it. That one's going to be fun because we're going to combine how many different workshops? 3 different workshops?
At least 3, yes.
So we're going to try to use WordPress.
Yes.
Because the whole point of the summer camp is for a young lady to come in and learn a bunch of skills that she can combine to create a really good looking website.
Right.
So we'll use the WordPress workshop. But before that, I think we're going to give them some other fundamental skills, right?
Yes, we want to start with a workshop to kind of have to plan out and think about the idea of what they want their website to be about. So we're going to do a spin on the newsroom production
Right, because that's one where they did a lot of planning.
Right, they did a lot of planning in that one, so we're going to do a spin on that to plan for the website.
So they'll use Office 365 for that.
Yes, to take notes and plan. And then we have a workshop that we've done in the past where they create an infographic. We want them to create this like grand graphic that will be maybe the main point of their website.
Right.
To implement for the third workshop, which is creating a website with WordPress.
Right, and we thought we might do the HTML, CSS, Visual Studio Code workshop. We're not sure. That might be sort of like a back pocket if some of the girls are more advanced and they want that extra skills. So we might be able to incorporate some Visual Studio Code in that. And that way they'll tie it all together. Their websites will be responsive. They'll be able to be on mobile devices, tablet devices, laptops. We're going to have, what else? Oh, we're going to have a day of just presentation. So at the final.
Oh, yes, because they love presenting
They love to present it, and they'll be able to take their websites home with them. We're going to create accounts that they'll be able to leave with. We're very excited. It's 5 days of 3-hour workshops every day. And Sarah, you're going to be heavily involved. Chloe, we're going to lean on the volunteers to really help make this happen.
Yes.
And then so the old folks like myself are going to kind of be behind the scenes, making sure everything goes smoothly. So we're excited about the summer camp workshop. Again, if you go to TechGirlz, and I failed to bring up the site before. Let me actually bring it up and show you guys. So if anyone's interested in some more of this information, go to TechGirlz, TechGirlz.org, and there's information about getting involved. There's this link, which is the events, and if I click on workshops, I think our June 29th workshop should show up here. Let's scroll down here and see if we can find it. Look, and they're so popular. Look, that one's already waitlisted. The podcasting, the mini camp, graphics, C++. Oh, I need to take that one. There's this HTML, CSS one, database. We got to do the database one. We haven't done the database one yet. I'm an old database guy, so I'm dying to do a database one. There's so many, and now that they're virtual, there's ours. Now that they're virtual, you don't even have to, because before it was dependent on the location. You had to be near where they're at. Now they're virtual. Anyone. Who did we have attend our last one, our virtual one? Didn't we have someone from like out of state or something?
Yeah, someone, we were talking about, someone asked what the time was, and someone gave a wrong time, and I was like, oh, you're an hour off. She's like, oh, sorry, I'm from Indiana.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I didn't even think that people are from all over the place. So I asked if people were from, so we're from Maryland, and a lot of them were from Pennsylvania, New Jersey. We had one girl in Indiana. I think one was in North Carolina. I guess we had mostly on the East Coast, but there was a girl in Indiana, and that's a different time zone. So that was really awesome that virtually we can bring more girls from different areas all together.
Very exciting. And hopefully the next time we do one, we'll have people from, around the world. Who knows? That'd be really, really, I'm excited to see who attends. Again, if you're interested in signing up, go to the events tab. If you want to volunteer, there's a lot of volunteer opportunities. So this is the portion of the TechGirlz website where you can click and sign up to be a volunteer. You can volunteer virtually. I think they have other opportunities to volunteer, like helping out with curriculum and stuff like that. So they'd love to have you. We've been doing it for 4 years, and there's no stopping us. We've had a ball all 4 years. It feels like it was yesterday that we started doing this.
Yes, and the girls love us coming back. We've had some of the girls that we've gone to location multiple times. They're like, hey, we remember you. And at the end, they're like, when are you coming back? And we're like, we'll be back soon.
Right. Yay. Yeah, it's inspiring. I mean, that's what this talk is called, is, inspiring tech girls, but they inspire us. It really, really is a good time. So check that out. Again, you can contact me, you can contact Sarah, you can tweet the TechGirlz organization on Twitter. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you really got something out of it. We hope you've been inspired to volunteer and reach out and help out, because we all need it. So thank you guys. I think we'll probably be around for questions. So if you have questions, we'll take them.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, Chloe, for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.